This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. More Manitoba women fleeing domestic abuse now have a safe spot to land. The first of 2 new transitional housing projects in West Broadway is already home to some women and children escaping violence. Officials say it's another critical step to keeping people in our province safe, housed, and off the streets. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
These rooms will soon offer women and families a place to make a new start. A new building for women and children fleeing violence is set to open in Winnipeg's West Broadway neighborhood. It has 15 rent-geared-to-income units and on-site supports, with tenants staying 6 months to 2 years. Housing, Homelessness and Addictions Minister Bernadette Smith says women experiencing domestic violence need to know they have some place to go.
And women will not leave relationships unless they have somewhere to go, someone to support them, and then a path forward. So that's exactly what this housing is going to do.
The building, called Morning Light, is expected to be fully occupied by July. Another 11-unit building, called Standing Eagle, opened in the same neighborhood last year. CBC is not identifying the exact locations to protect the tenants. Both provide housing to women and children, and both were built in partnership with the University of Winnipeg Community Renewal Corporation.
We need to put a gendered lens on the issue of homelessness. This is an area, and this is the time where many women will experience homelessness, is when they're leaving a violent situation.
Meanwhile, the City of Winnipeg says it's making progress clearing out encampments. Last fall, city officials estimated there were as many as 100 known encampments in the city, with up to 700 people living in them. Now, the city's outreach contractor Main Street Project reports 62 known encampments, with 128 people identified as living in them. But those numbers don't include people who were not in encampments when outreach workers arrived. They also don't reflect numbers of people sleeping in doorways, bus shelters, and other places not considered to be encampments. Advocates accuse the city's policy of making risky situations worse by limiting people's options.
What is happening on Portage today? People huddled into whatever shade they can find, or even worse, unconscious on burning sidewalks in the sun, alone, because they've been scattered.
City officials say they will have more details next month on how many people have been cleared from encampments and where they've gone. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg police are asking for help finding the suspect in a serious sexual assault. Authorities say a preteen girl was walking along Mountain Avenue around 3 a.m. Saturday morning. She was approached by a man in a sedan who coaxed her inside, promising drugs and alcohol. Police say he drove her to an alley near Manitoba and Salter Street, threatened her at knife point, and sexually assaulted her. The girl managed to run to a family member's house where police were called. The man is believed to be between 30 and 40 years old with a mustache and short dark hair. He was driving a 4-door brown sedan. Strawberry season is just weeks away, but local berry farmers are worried there may not be anything to pick. Flash floods have devastated farmers' fields and several communities around the province. As CBC's Dura McElwraith explains, in Stonewall, it's all hands on deck.
Only time will tell if 70,000 strawberry plants will grow after sitting underwater. Danielle Boonstra says the crops were planted just days before a storm drenched her farm near Stonewall with more than 250 millimeters of rain. Many farmers' fields remain underwater a week after the flash floods. Boonstra says they're one of the fortunate ones.
So it was nice that a lot of the standing water is in between the rows. They did get a lot of rain, so there was some water on it, but we do have runoff. And we do have a lot of sandy soil here, and we're really high elevation, high ground. So as you can see, a lot of the water is already evaporated.
In town, Stonewall United Church members are dealing with the aftermath of a flooded basement. Brendan Nebel-Turbot says it was overwhelming.
It took us about 24 hours to realize because everybody was busy dealing with water in their own basements. So then by the time we got to it, things were pretty soaked.
Carpet ripped out, wet items piled in the parking lot. Nebel-Turbot says a daycare in the building can no longer run while things are sorted out, and services are canceled until September. She says while the church is on a tight budget, the community has pulled together to help those affected. Meanwhile, back at the strawberry farm, Danielle Boonstra just wants the rain to stop. She's optimistic since the roots of the plants weren't exposed.
When we do plant, we ensure that every single root is submerged underneath the soil. So what I see is I do see the plants green. I don't see a lot of roots. So hopefully we'll be okay, but really just pray that it works out and that everything will be okay.
Boonstra is crossing her fingers. Berry pickers will be filling the fields come July. Jura McElwraith, CBC News, Stonewall.
And more rain today was not welcome for many people in North Kildonan, whose homes were pummeled by flooding last week. Heavy rains this afternoon caused some streets in the area to pool. On Bouquet Avenue, people worked to unclog drains and sewers in an effort to avoid damage to their homes. But for some, the dump of rain sent water rushing back into their basements, causing even more frustration as they try to clean up and recover from last week's storms.
Basically, like, oh no, not again. Like, now we have to deal with this all over again. And the water was like that high off the ground. Like, it was quite a bit of water.
The city says it got 96 calls in Winnipeg today related to sewer and drainage. That number includes catch basins and sewer backups, but it couldn't say if they were all related to today's rain. A Winnipeg man woke up to find his car slumped into a sinkhole outside his home in Wolseley. It happened Saturday morning on Newman Street. Michael Burkholder says a neighbor texted him around 7:30 a.m. to let him know what happened. They put pylons up around the cars to warn others. He says hours later he was still waiting for the city and was worried someone could get hurt. He says the street also had another sinkhole previously, and in April, a woman fell into another hole after it caved in outside her home on Lipton, another street in Wolseley. Well, it seems many Manitobans aren't just raising a glass, they're raising their elbows when they do it. When the province pulled U.S. alcohol off the shelves, Manitobans made the move to support Canadian-made booze. And products made in our own backyard are seeing the benefit of the boost. CBC's Mike Arsenault has more.
These are cherries that have been infusing for about 3 weeks.
Martin Pasek knows vodka. He's the brand manager for Baltic Bros, a craft spirits distillery in Winnipeg. Pasek says when the province removed U.S. liquor from shelves last year, it created an opportunity for his business.
The Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries Corporation reached out to us, and we actually have more shelf space, so more opportunity in more categories other than just vodka.
In early 2025, the NDP government removed U.S. liquor from Manitoba shelves in response to tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump. Since those products were removed, the province says Canadian wine and spirits accounted for nearly $21 million in year-over-year sales growth. Canadian spirit sales increased by 6%, and Canadian wine sales increased by 7% during the first half of 2026. Pasek says although his sales increased, there was also an increase in Canadian competitors. He'd like to see the province focus more on Manitoba producers.
If the province looks at the positives from this, that if you do this type of action, you actually have a bigger economic ripple and impact. Investing in ourselves here in Manitoba makes a much, much bigger impact.
Shrugging Doctor has been producing wine and other spirits in the province since 2017. Owner Willows Christopher says when U.S. products were taken down, they saw a rise in their distribution.
Stores where we maybe had 3 products, now we have 6 products, and that was driven a lot by consumer demand, where people were coming in and they were specifically asking for either Canadian or local.
Christopher says the removal of U.S. products introduced people to new wines and liquors they wouldn't usually try.
They were drinking what they knew they liked, and they didn't want to get too experimental with it, and this kind of forced people into that position. So, you know, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, whatever, but we're happy people are drinking more local for sure.
The province says it added more than 380 new Canadian products to fill gaps left by U.S. stock, a trend local producers hope will continue, even if tariffs are removed. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Not a bad weekend throughout the city, but again, we did see some more rain. Let's bring in meteorologist Colette Kennedy. Colette.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, coming out of the weekend with some ups and downs when it comes to temperatures, I guess I should say downs and ups because it was cooler on Saturday and then a nice rebound on Sunday. Well, overnight last night, hey, we were down to a low of 11. That's seasonal for this time of year. But if you're looking at my graphic and some of these temperatures right now, not very impressive. Now, we did get up there just into the low 20s, but then with some of the showery and thunderstorm activity rolling through the province, it does mean that the temperatures took a little bit of a nosedive. You can see all those lightning strikes, many of which have passed now south of the border, but we still have some wet weather around the Red River Valley. And I think we will a little bit into the evening before that all tapers off. Then it becomes mostly clear, 8 degrees for your low overnight tonight, so a little below seasonal, 11 and mostly sunny to start things off, but there will be some increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. We will, however, get up to a pretty comfortable 23 degrees. And then in terms of what happens after that, I'll have all the details coming up.
Thanks, Colette. Moving to the digital world, how long it will be before your health records are all electronic. We'll have more on that next. By next spring, every hospital in Manitoba will be connected to a new digital record system. Medical staff will be able to access a patient's records in any hospital in the province. As the CBC's Ian Fraze tells us, while many are celebrating the move, it doesn't mean paper is going away entirely.
Digital medical records in Manitoba are almost one click away.
I think Manitoba was behind in this, and I'm so happy that this is happening.
By next March, every hospital will have digital access to a patient's record, including your diagnosis, medications, and treatment notes. Dr. Iraj Gambari is already using the system in Ascham.
And decrease the stress of the patient as well, because he sees that I have access to accurate information in just a second.
Without this technology, Gambari would have waited for a fax or phone call.
But now, because of recording the system, I have access for all data of the patient.
However, what's stored online will be limited. Only acute facilities, ERs, and urgent care centers will have it. And a patient's digital record only starts the first time they visit a hospital after this new system is live. No previous data here.
There is always room for improvement, but I am happy, very, very happy for our community because they deserve it for a long time.
The system is in a few hospitals now, like St. Boniface and the Women's Hospital in Winnipeg, as well as in Brandon. By August at Health Sciences Centre, by next March, it'll be everywhere.
It's absolutely an ambitious target, but you know what? We've put the necessary, accountabilities and governance in place to really support this moving forward. And we're actually seeing implementation get better and better as we go.
Doctors Manitoba likes hearing that, but says in a statement it's closely monitoring this project because major IT projects often fail to deliver on saving time or simplifying processes. Even before this technology upgrade, doctors could pull up some of your health records digitally. Prescriptions, lab results, immunizations. But your trip to the ER or urgent care center, that was written on paper, and that is supposed to change. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Women's sports continue to take center stage, and in Winnipeg, excitement is growing about the possibility of having a women's professional soccer team in the near future. A home for a possible team in the city has been identified, but it's going to need some upgrades. CBC's Gavin Axelrod explains.
I'm here at the Ralph Contafio Soccer Complex. It's a hotbed for the sport in the city, and it could be home to a professional women's soccer team here in Winnipeg in the near future. The City of Winnipeg is recommending a $600,000 grant for the Winnipeg Soccer Federation if Winnipeg lands a team in Canada's Women's Professional Soccer League. The money would be part of a $1.5 million upgrade to artificial turf and lighting. If approved, the goal would be to have renovations done ahead of the 2027 Northern Super League season. Soccer fans like Jennifer Stainer, president of the Red River Rising supporter group, are optimistic, especially since the city doesn't have a pro soccer team.
We feel hopeful and excited for the prospects. There's a sort of a huge gap for the soccer community right now, and I think they're hungry for it. They're ready to celebrate a new team in Winnipeg. And
Haley Hunter goes to the right foot!
The Northern Super League's first season was in 2025. There are teams in Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and Halifax.
To see these women, these athletes shine and, take it to the next level, that's exciting for me.
The potential plan is detailed in a report on the agenda for Tuesday's Executive Policy Committee meeting at City Hall. It outlines other upgrades the facility needs that wouldn't be city funded.
I want to see a professional women's soccer team in Winnipeg, and so I'm glad to support this report.
The city also says in the report talks continue involving the league, a potential owner, the local soccer community, and government that would see the potential new franchise play at the complex in 2027. An ownership group has not been publicly announced. Winnipeg's Desiree Scott and veteran coach Rob Gale have been leading a charge to bring a team to the city.
What a moment for AFC Toronto!
The league's president said in April an announcement about future plans could come in early summer.
We see the strong support in the community, and we think Winnipeg, whether it's 27 or beyond, would make an incredible expansion market for the Northern Super League.
The city documents also say a decision by the NSL on whether to proceed with the new team in 2027 is expected shortly. We've reached out to the league for more information and haven't heard back yet. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets didn't make the Stanley Cup playoffs, but the city and province were well represented when the cup was raised last night.
The perfect storm in the 20th anniversary of their first title. Once again, the Carolina Hurricanes are Stanley Cup champions.
The Carolina Hurricanes beat the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games. For Manitoba hockey fans, that victory adds another few names to the cup, including Winnipegger Seth Jarvis. The 24-year-old celebrated with his childhood friends who have followed him around the playoffs and to Italy for the Olympics. It was also a big moment for former Winnipeg Jet Nikolai Ehlers and Brandon's Jordan Martinook. It means the cup will be making an appearance in Manitoba this offseason. Now that the hockey season's over, if you're hoping for more sunny, hot weather, well, summer is officially on its way. Meteorologist Colette Kennedy, and now with a look at your forecast. Colette.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, this is our last week of spring as we officially get into summertime coming up this weekend. So I thought we'd take a look then at what we have in terms of our daylight hours because we're getting to our peak, right? So sunrise tomorrow, 5:19, and our sunset, how about 9:39? A good amount of daylight, so up to 16 hours and 20 minutes. And we'll get to just over 21 minutes before we start going in the other direction once again. Showing you also some of the rain showers and thunderstorms from earlier coming through the area. Now at the airport reporting station, we only had a couple of hours of that, but there's been a lot of activity here over multiple hours. And some of those lightning strikes, a little aggressive, but most of those are now south of the international border. But this is all along a frontal boundary. And we really have a situation with an area of low pressure that's kind of cut off from the main circulation or the winds that would be pushing it along. And so it does that counterclockwise spin and it keeps sending all these systems across and right through our neck of the woods. So we get into a breather and we'll have some sunshine through the day tomorrow, increasing cloudiness into the afternoon hours. But from Dauphin through Brandon, the next front will be coming in. So you'll get into some rain showers, although it becomes much heavier to the south of us. That moves on through. Some heavier rains push into northwestern Ontario, but in between where we get hit and miss over the next few days, that's where you're seeing the amounts are pretty low because we're just talking about along that front before it really taps in to the moisture that's being pulled up from the Gulf. So essentially it's around 5 to maybe up to 10 millimeters of rainfall that we'd be experiencing. So here's how it looks. Again, we start off with sunshine and we'll have a quiet night once we get rid of these thunderstorms that are rolling through. Then tomorrow, 23, maybe even 24 into the afternoon hours for our high. On Wednesday, keep in mind kind of Tuesday night into early Wednesday, we could have a few showers and then bubbling back up, just isolated into the afternoon here. Otherwise, a mix of sun and cloud, 20 for our high. On Thursday, partly sunny skies, 21. We're not quite hitting the mark here, are we? So with that area of low pressure, it is a somewhat cooler week. 19 on Friday with some rain coming back, and then we've got that sun-cloud mix as we push towards the weekend.
All right, thank you, Colette. Well, we have much more to come right after the break. Stay with us. U.S. President Donald Trump says a peace deal with Iran has been signed. He says the Strait of Hormuz will be open by Friday. The CBC's Katie Nicholson looks at what's known and not known about the agreement so far.
A digital memorandum of understanding has been signed by the U.S. president, his vice president, and Iran's parliamentary speaker. But what's in it remains a mystery, though Donald Trump says it will be publicly released sometime after Friday. That's the day a signing ceremony has been set in Switzerland. Both Iran and the U.S. have publicly revealed some of the terms of this first step toward peace: the immediate cessation of military engagement, the U.S. will pull back its naval blockade of Iranian ports, and the Strait of Hormuz will reopen once it's been cleared of sea mines. Trump also insists it includes provisions to nix Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons.
The main thing is that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. They fully agreed to that with strong policing powers, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, which is what it was all about, because they probably would have used it if they had it.
Trump addressed whether sanctions on Iran would be eased. He said that would be tied to Iran's behavior going forward in the process. Technical talks are underway in Doha ahead of Friday's signing, but there's still the thorny issue of Israel and Hezbollah's continued tensions. Israel has said it won't pull its troops from Lebanon, and Hezbollah has said it won't accept any attacks that violate Lebanon's sovereignty or target its people.
We do want to see if we can straighten out the Lebanon thing, because it just seems to just never end. And that's a mini version of what we were doing, and it should not be tough. It should not be tough. So Hezbollah, we have to have a little talk with them.
Israel and Hezbollah have previously ignored the U.S. president's demands they stop firing on each other throughout this conflict. There are fears provocations on either side could threaten this deal before it gets signed on Friday. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
The agreement between the U.S. and Iran is at the top of the agenda at a G7 summit in France. Leaders, including Prime Minister Mark Carney, are meeting there this week. The CBC's David Cochran is also there.
In the days leading up to this summit, the Prime Minister said the outcome of the peace talks between the U.S. and Iran would shape the direction of the G7. As he boarded his plane to leave Ireland, Mark Carney said the goal is to make this agreement as durable as possible.
We'll have an opportunity starting from tonight at the G7 in Evian to see what we and other countries can do to help reinforce this important progress that's been made.
Nous allons tout faire d'abord pour que cet accord soit une réalité.
We will do everything we can to ensure that this agreement becomes a reality, says French President and summit host Emmanuel Macron. All of the countries gathering here have suffered from the economic shocks this conflict has unleashed. It's flatlined growth and fueled inflation.
We have long called for de-escalation, and it is vital that all parties seize this opportunity to secure stability in the region.
But so much of what happens next depends so much on one man.
Everything is very nice, thank you.
U.S. President Donald Trump has boasted of an imminent deal dozens of times in the past, but this time seems more solid. Canada's specific commitments to an enduring peace are at this point unknown, though in the past there have been suggestions of maritime support and intelligence sharing.
The priority now is implementation. The Straits of Hormuz must reopen, and freedom of navigation must be restored, toll-free.
This peace deal is still just preliminary. The tough conversations about Iran's nuclear program left for the future. But this framework at least gives the G7 leaders a window of opportunity to help make it more durable and stabilize the global economy. David Cochran, CBC News, La Chapelle d'Abondance, France.
Iran's national men's team is set to debut at the World Cup against New Zealand in Los Angeles. But as Lindsay Dencombe explains, their arrival has raised tensions within the city's large Iranian diaspora.
There is anticipation and tension ahead of Iran's match here at the World Cup in Los Angeles. We are expecting protests and supporters for the Iranian national team. It's estimated there are more than 200,000 Iranian Americans living in and around Los Angeles, and feelings about the team are mixed. It has been a long road to get here. Domestic league play was canceled because of the war. They had to move their base camp from Arizona to Mexico, and some staff were denied visas to attend games. Striker Mehdi Taremi said pre-tournament tensions meant the spirit, excitement, and enthusiasm people associate with the World Cup can be lost. There have been widespread anti-regime protests all across Los Angeles since the war began. FIFA doesn't allow political symbols in the stands. Protesters want to bring this sun and moon flag, a symbol of the Iranian monarchy, into the stadium. If that happens, the Iran team says it will stop the match. But many seem keen to put politics aside and enjoy the game. American fans we spoke to welcome the team despite the tension.
How do you feel about the Iran game? Iran coming here to play?
Oh, I don't care. You know, we're all part of this world. It doesn't matter to me if they're from Iran, Iraq, whatever. You know, we're all here.
I think it is really complicated. I think it's nice that we have sports as a way to try to bring us together, and I think there is a lot that is really hard happening right now.
We are the country of immigrants, so it's a thing. I mean, all of our families were immigrants at one time. We're not Native Americans, so we have to be realistic. Come one, come all.
And as tense as this match could be, things could get even more dramatic. If both the United States and Iran finish second in their groups, it could mean they would face each other in the next stage. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Los Angeles.
At least 11 people are dead in Ukraine after a massive Russian bombardment, including on Kyiv. The overnight attack also damaged a 1,000-year-old monastery that's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The fire happened as Russia struck the Ukrainian capital with hundreds of missiles and drones. The monastery complex, which includes a cathedral, was founded in the 11th century. It's considered one of the holiest sites in Eastern Orthodox Christianity. UNESCO condemned the attack, noting that cultural properties are protected under international law. Russia has denied striking the holy site. 3 children, all under 13, were in an early morning confrontation with Toronto police where shots were fired. It involved a stolen vehicle.
4 police officers, 2 in each vehicle, tried to stop the driver of the stolen vehicle on Leaside Bridge, and the driver tried to flee. And then in the course of that, there was contact made with a police officer and that vehicle. And then there were multiple shots fired at the vehicle. The driver took off and abandoned the car a short distance away and then was apprehended on foot a short time later.
A 12-year-old boy is facing charges including attempted murder. He was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. One of the other children in the vehicle was also apprehended. Police say a 3rd youth got away. Calls are growing for an independent investigation into allegations of discrimination and racial profiling by Montreal police. 16 officers are already under a police investigation. And as Sharon Yonan-Reynolds reports, some people in North Montreal say they've been sounding the alarm for some time.
Some community organizations here in Montreal North are demanding a meeting with Montreal's police chief. This follows allegations of racism and hateful incidents towards Black and Arab people during police stops here in the borough.
We want to make sure is effective solutions to redress, to stop, to correct, and to prevent.
He says the groups will present a series of recommendations to improve policing in the area and build trust with the community. Last week, Montreal Police Chief Fadi Daguerre confirmed that 16 police officers based at a local station are under investigation. According to Radio-Canada, this follows alleged incidents where some officers collected locks from people's heads during police stops and ticketed people based on their ethnic backgrounds.
There's a lot of stories out there.
Stephanie Germain lives and works in Montreal North. She says there's been a feeling of mistrust towards police for a long time.
We always used to play in the park of Ibourassa, and we always be chased by the police officers. They'll always come and just like asking us some question, what you guys are doing here, why are you here?
Police Chief Fadi Daguerre says the allegations point to a cultural issue at the SPVM that he pledges to address.
And being closer to the community, other information going to come in. So we're going to see where those information goes, and we're going to treat them. We're going to make sure that we're going to address those concerns and give them a follow-up.
Community organizations say the allegations are a clear example of systemic racism in the province. Speaking to Radio Canada, Premier Christine Fréchette said it's not necessarily systemic. Meanwhile, Montreal Mayor Soraya Martinez-Ferrada is calling for an independent investigation into the allegations.
Many Montrealers have lost confidence, and it is upon us to make sure that we are working with the SPVM to rebuild that trust.
Quebec's Domestic Security Minister Ian Lafrenière says an independent observer will follow every step of the SPVM's internal investigation. He says that the findings could lead to a public inquiry or an investigation carried out by a different police force. Sharon Yonan-Reynolds, CBC News, Montreal.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupted over the weekend, and a camera got a little too close to the action. Lava spouting from the crater sparked a whirlwind, pushing its debris into the lens. Yesterday's episode lasted nearly 8 hours, but the volcano has been erupting sporadically since 2024. Still ahead, a new 8-meter-long map of the Opaskwayak Cree Nation featuring traditional names. More on its significance after the break. A new map has been created on a northern Manitoba First Nation, showing nearby places with their original names in Cree. No such map has ever been made before. And as CBC's Eric Westhaver explains, there's hope it can keep the region's history alive.
Opaskwayak Cree Nation has never been seen quite like this. A map of the nation showing traditional Cree place names for the first time. People can walk on it to see it all from above.
This map is about 8 meters square, and it features over 150 place names, all down in the local Cree language. Most of these names have been around for centuries, but haven't been printed on an actual map until now.
Dr. Alex Wilson is a professor at the University of Saskatchewan. She's originally from OCN and started this project in 2019 by meeting with locals and elders.
They started telling stories about a place, or they'd start telling stories about being a child and the laughter and just how important it was for them to have those memories. So it really became a passion project for the community.
Sarah Cooper at the University of Manitoba handled the technical work with her city planning students. It's no small feat. OCN lands are bigger than some countries.
Meeting with the elders, gathering place names, and then putting them into GIS and kind of figuring out like how the map will actually look.
Most of the original Cree names refer to plants, medicines, animal territory, even warnings of danger. Colonizers changed most of them, like changing Opaskwayak to the Paw, or Tikamegosagehigan to Clearwater Lake. Former Chief Maureen Brown said the map can help the community reclaim its sovereignty and history.
I heard growing up, Kinano Makitaski, now this is our home, this is our land. Actually seeing all of the names of the places is very emotional.
The project has given elders a new way to share what they know.
Now she said, I'm going to go walk my territory. You know, and some of them can't get back out to their traditional camps and stuff anymore, so, but now they can.
Local schools can use the map too, teaching students about the land. A new light on old territory. Eric Westhaver, CBC News, Opaskwayak Cree Nation.
More than 100 people headed to Winkler for the city's first Pride. Some say it's a sign of progress, while others say it was long overdue. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
A Pride March in Winkler for the first time ever. Years ago, growing up in the city, Bethany Bunko used to walk this route in frustration, often feeling misunderstood.
I think when all of us were growing up here, we didn't really have a safe place. We didn't really know much about ourselves because there was nothing reflected in the community that we could identify with.
Retracing those steps Saturday, surrounded by the support of friends and allies, she felt validation instead of angst.
So to be able to come back and celebrate with Winkler and to show the people of Winkler that gay does exist here is very exciting.
Pembina Valley Pride put on the celebration. The hundreds who came out say it was a long overdue step in a community sometimes regarded as highly religious and socially conservative.
The world is so much bigger than this tiny little bubble that we grew up in. Like, it's much bigger than it used to be, but it still feels so small to those of us who grew up here. And seeing it expand now is just, it's really, really nice.
Not everyone in Winkler was as accepting of the event. Dozens lined the path of the march holding placards of biblical references and words of condemnation. Organizer Pauline Emerson-Frabe says those opposed, both online and in person, are a small minority.
The online warriors like to tell you you're not welcome, but here you know you are welcome, and you do know that they're allies, you can see them, they're here to support, that we're not alone.
Lawrence Friesen lives in Toronto but grew up in the area. He hopes the visibility of the event helps people struggling on their own journeys.
Because clearly there are queer people in Winkler and area, and maybe some of those people are not very confident, and maybe they need a little extra encouragement to live their lives authentically.
Ahead of the event, the Winkler police chief said while residents may have different views on Pride, everyone should be treated with dignity and respect. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winkler.
We've got some inclement weather right now that's occurring, at least for the southern portion of the province, but the whole pattern overall can be unsettled because we have a situation, well, let's show you the jet stream here, where we have a significant trough. So these are those upper winds in the atmosphere. They do a few things. They tend to define, it tends to define where the cooler air is to the north and milder air to the south of it, but also tends to be the storm track and kind of pushing things along in the atmosphere. So when you have a situation like this, and we've got an area of low pressure that's a bit further to the north and kind of parked here, it's out of that circulation. It just keeps pushing the system through along the jet stream, but the whole pattern doesn't tend to change. So that's why you see here this colder air in place. Not so bad, Thompson, but you know, you're noticing all the greens on the contour here where there's definitely some chillier air and that unsettled weather. So here comes that frontal boundary. We do have decent conditions tomorrow once we get through this little bit of instability we've been dealing with today, and things look good. But as the day wears on, you'll start to have that next front moving through. So showers, Dauphin, down towards Brandon and Winkler and through that region, and then getting heavier as those move south of the border. Into Wednesday, we could have a few isolated showers even coming towards the Red River Valley into those afternoon hours. So just be prepared for that. I think they'd be pretty light and pretty highly isolated. So temperatures for tonight running a little bit below seasonal. In Winnipeg, we should be closer to 11. It's a couple of degrees. Maybe that's not such a big deal. And, you know, for Churchill, your normal low at this time of the year is 2. But when you get to 0 and you're talking about the chance of a light mix, that does feel a little bit off, doesn't it? And especially when I show you as we move through the day tomorrow that the temperature, again, closer to the center of that low does not warm up that much. So you stick there around 0 to 2 degrees. Whole different story further south, especially southeast, where we will have a little bit more sunshine and get those temperatures up to 23 to 24 degrees. So for your dog walking forecast, I have the pleasure of introducing you to this sweetheart. Look at these eyes on Hazel. I love that name, Allison. Thanks for sending Hazel in. Wire-haired dachshund and an absolute cutie. And how about for that dog walking forecast? Looking pretty good because we do have sun early on. Just some of that increasing cloud later, and for Winnipeg, pretty close to, although not quite at a normal daytime high.
Thanks, Colette. A local singer-songwriter's new release is all about transit. 50/50 funding by John Sampson Fellows was written in collaboration with Climate Action Team Manitoba. Marcy Marcusa spoke with John about his song and the push for the province to restore the 50/50 public transit funding model.
Tap the new transit app, open to show who we are now and where we need to go.
Well, I take transit almost every day, and I'm a big fan. And the Climate Action Team folks approached and asked if I would like to write a song for their campaign. And I said, yeah, absolutely. So I spoke with the Climate Action Team and asked what they would like the song to be about, and then wrote the song and sent it off to my friend Rusty Robot, who is working with the After School Leaders here in the Broadway neighborhood, which is a group of kids who get together and after school and get to make videos and music. And they sang on the song.
That's their voices.
Yeah, that's their voices, which really make it for me, I think. Yeah.
And is it right that your parents met on a bus? Like you've got this personal little touch?
I know. They met on a bus on Ellis Avenue. My mom was going to United College, which is now the University of Winnipeg. My dad was going to law school, which used to be above the law courts. And that's the first time they met. So
I kind of love that.
I know, me too.
Did they just see each other? Did they start chatting?
You know,
or what?
I'm not sure. They've never really. I'll grill them on it later today.
You just know they met on a bus.
Yeah.
Let's get to the serious part of the message in this song. You, Laura, are calling for 50/50 funding to be restored. Why?
Yeah, so the 50/50 funding agreement was created actually back in the 1970s in Manitoba, and it's been in place for the better part of the last 5 decades. Until it was ended in 2017. And this is just a really important agreement for the province to match municipal investment, as you said. So it shares the investment in transit between 50% with the province and 50% with the municipalities. And that's just a really fair way, I think, of distributing the costs and making sure that we have a strong transit system. It also incentivizes municipalities to invest because those dollars are matched by the province.
Before 2017, then, when we had 50-50 funding, was the system that much better? Like, how do you know that you're attributing that to the funding?
Well, we know that, the share that the province is covering of transit funding has decreased a lot since then, relatively. And actually, in Manitoba municipalities like Winnipeg and Brandon, we have some of the lowest per capita spending on transit operations in the country compared to similar cities. Like, for instance, Edmonton spends 50% more on their transit operations. Cities like Montreal and Ottawa spend 200% more on transit operations per capita. So in Winnipeg, we've really fallen behind. And, I think that gap has only widened in the last 10 years. And so we really need more transit funding to improve service for everyone. Transit is a fundamental service for getting to healthcare appointments, school, work, groceries, and so on. And we can't let it, keep sliding.
Still ahead, we confront a very polarizing question. Which is better, cats or dogs? That's next.
extreme weather.
We opened the garage door and it just flooded in.
We're not going to be able to salvage everything that was in our basement, that's for sure.
When it hits, CBC is there. For the news you need, choose CBC.
Well, we are looking at a pattern that can have its ups and downs because we have an area of low pressure that's kind of just sticking around and not moving along. So it brings system after system, if not right through our skies, close by. Not a bad day at all tomorrow, and up to 23 degrees, sunshine, and then some increasing cloudiness late to the west. There will be rain showers into Wednesday. We could have a few isolated showers. I think it's a pretty slim risk through the Red River Valley. And then for Thursday, good looking day, 21, and Friday, rain showers coming back in, and then maybe we'll break out of this pattern altogether. And wouldn't that be nice if it happens in time for the weekend and get those temperatures up and get some significant sunshine coming right back at us too. Brittany?
Thanks, Colette. Well, if you're a cat lover, this next story is for you. A Carleton history professor has written a book about the history of cats. He recently spoke with Ottawa Morning, where he tried to address a polarizing topic.
There is always this debate on which is better, a cat or a dog, and one seems to really love you, the other one you're not sure sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, well, cats are just different animals, you know? I mean, people want cats to be dogs. That's the problem. We don't expect, eagles to be sparrows, for example. But no, there are a lot of people who, about a third or 20, 25, 30% of people do not like cats. And when you ask, surveys ask how many people don't like dogs, it's around 5%.
Huh.
So there's, people are still very polarized on cats. And I mean, I know well. Sometimes I've invited people to my place for dinner, and they said they won't come because they're afraid of cats.
Afraid of cats.
Or they hate cats.
Right. That one seems more credible.
Yeah. Well, either. I mean, I don't get it, to be honest. I mean, cats don't do any harm. If they don't like you, they go away. If they're afraid of you, they'll go away. They won't attack you. Or
there's the odd story, I'll say.
There's the odd story. Yeah. But even if they do, it's a few scratch marks. It's not like a dog that can actually kill you.
Right.
Okay, I have to say I'm a dog lover, but the cats always seem to find me. We will take, though, all of your cats or dog photos if you want to send them in for Riley at talkback@cbc.ca. We'll catch you back here tomorrow night. Have a great night.